Ron Dembowski is a member of the Canyon County Council. He's working to improve transportation, protect the environment, ensure equal opportunities, and reform county government. Rod has represented District 1 on the County Council since February in 2013, and since that time has not missed a single vote. He serves as the chair of the Transportation, Economy, and Environment Committee. Would you give him a warm welcome, please?
Very much. I think today we're up to 3,382 votes. Not a committee vote, not a council vote, not anything missed. I think showing up is part of succeeding in life and getting things done. I feel I owe it to you. Thank you for having me here tonight. How about another round of applause for Judith? Tonight's getting late, so I'll try and be brief. I do chair the Transportation Economy Environment Committee. I represent the 1st District on the council. That includes Northeast Seattle, starting at about 65th Street, east of I-5, coming all the way up to 145th, and then all the cities of Shoreline, Lake Forest Park, Kenmore, Bothell on the King County side, most of Woodinville, and on the 3rd and city of Kirkland. So it's that North King County area. And one of the great things about my district is it has a lot of shoreline, about 35 miles of shoreline, including a significant portion in shoreline along Puget Sound, right? Also Lake Washington and the Sammamish River are all big bodies of water that I get to work on in my district. And one of the greatest tragedies of the election of this administration, or really through the Electoral College, we know he didn't get the majority of the votes, is the damage that he is proposing to do in his budget to the waters of our country nationwide, and in particular here in Puget Sound. You know, it is particularly troubling me. I love Puget Sound. I think like many of you in here, I've spent a lot of time on it. I happen to be a boat owner up in the San Juans. It's just beautiful, and it's part of who we are. Every day in my office, I work under a picture of Warren Magnuson. Some of you may raise your hand, recall Senator Magnuson. Thank you. There we go. There's still some folks remember it. You know, if Scoop Jackson, his partner in the Senate, was the godfather of protecting the Cascades, Warren Magnuson was the godfather of protecting Puget Sound. He, through legislation, created NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. He wrote the Marine Mammal Protection Act to protect orca whales and other wildlife. And of course, he passed what became known as the Magnuson Act to prevent oil tankers from coming south of Anacortes and the risk that would pose to Puget Sound. My, how far we have fallen since those times. We now have an administration that is pro-petrol, pro-oil, putting really at risk all that we have fought for generations here. And think about the importance, if you will, of this ecosystem. Just on oysters alone, we got any oyster eater here, right? That industry, Taylor shellfish, for example, $150 million annually. The tourism, $180 million is estimated to generate annually. Thousands of jobs just on the economy alone, which is at stake. Let me tell you, as you may know, the Puget Sound Partnership is the organization that is charged with protecting Puget Sound. It's local governments, it's state governments, and until the Trump budget, it was the federal government. Sadly, in his budget, should it be approved, we're talking about a loss of at least $10 million to fund Puget Sound cleanup, and we're not alone. The Chesapeake Bay, the Great Lakes, the waters, the great waters of this country, which we haven't treated very well in the last 150 years, and we're trying to clean up, that money is at risk. Now, I think we've got a chance in Congress, and we're working every day locally to get our congressional leaders and those around the country who stand with us to fight it, to protect those monies and restore them. But we have come a long way to Scott Pruitt, the current EPA administrator, from the first guy, William Ruckelshaus. I mean, it was Nixon of all people. Talk about Nixonian behavior we're dealing with here. Nixon of all people that with an executive order started the EPA and put William Ruckelshaus, one of our very own, as the first administrator. I think this region, this state, this community has a special affinity for Puget Sound, has a history of protecting the environment and protecting our waters. And I think it is up to us locally to lead the national fight back on this particular issue. It's up to these folks and you to do that. And we can. So what can we do? There's I got a green one. All right. Is that Dr. Froge? That is Dr. Froge. Let me introduce you to Dr. Jonathan Froge. Stand up for a minute, Doctor. One of my proudest moments on the county, yeah, give him a round of applause. This guy's on the front lines. One of my proudest moments on the county council was securing some money on Dr. Froge's proposal to work in the Thornton Creek watershed and other urban watersheds throughout the Puget Sound region and King County in particular to fight human fecal coliform bacteria, to find it, to identify it. This man right here identified new methods, new science using our lab at King County to find the point sources of solution in our pollution in our urban creeks so we can eradicate them. He's a leader in the nation. He's sitting right here tonight. Give him a round of applause. And our community and our local government is full of folks like Dr. Froge who are stepping up and who are in their own way, just like all of you, leading. And here's a couple of things that you can do. They're not complicated, they're not difficult, but over here in the next room is a Sierra Club table. If this is your issue, if you care about this, go sign up. Maybe you've thought about the Sierra Club, maybe you've heard about it, but they are going to be one of the leading national organizations that fights this kind of efforts to eradicate our environmental protections and to defund them. Sign up with them. If you want to get more local, there's lots of great organizations. Stream Keepers, the Puget Sound Keeper Alliance, if you really care about Puget Sound. Real local, the Thornton Creek Alliance. I saw Janet Way here for years. She's been a good leader protecting the Thornton Creek environment. Snow King Watershed Alliance. Find those groups, they're available online. Sign up. Go out on a weekend with the Stream Keepers Alliance. Get into the creek, get your hands dirty, get your feet wet. Reconnect to the water. And reach out around the country. You saw an earlier lesson on your Facebook friends about how to find folks in other states. Network with them, I would say. Friends in the Great Lakes region, friends around Chesapeake Bay. Those waters around the country and the folks that are connected to them can be helpful. I want to just maybe close with a quote here from President Kennedy, because I think it is a good reminder about our connection to the sea. He said in 1962, I really don't know why it is that all of us are so committed to the sea, except I think it's because, in addition to the fact that the sea changes and the light changes and the ships change, it's because we all came from the sea. And it's an interesting biological fact that all of us have in our veins the exact same percentage of salt in our blood that exists in the ocean, and therefore we have salt in our blood, in our sweat, and in our tears. Let's pledge our blood, sweat, and tears to protect the sea. Let's pledge that tonight. And if you will, the last few lines of his quote, I'd like you to say them with me as part of this pledge. We are tied to the ocean.
We are tied to the ocean.
And when we go back to the sea, whether it is to sail or to watch it, we are going back from whence we came. Fight the fight. Don't give up. We'll win. Thank you.